pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add item I to discuss the remaining unallocated and unused bond dollars.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, item 2A, approval of Head Start Policy Council meeting agenda. Item 1, finance reports. Item 2, updated salary schedules. Updated annual hours for family service manager and education manager. Is Ms. O'Shea? Motion by Mr. Poche, second by Mr. Dojero. Any discussion? Let's vote. Item passed. Item 2B, consider and/or recommend action with regard to renewal of workers' comp, CPA, and loss control services.
Again, this is just our regular renewal for this upcoming year, so it's standard.
Move to accept.
Motion by Mr. Hebert, second by Mr. Fusilier. Let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2C, consider and/or recommend action with regard of renewal of Revenue Recovery Group Incorporated Professional Services Agreement for Sales Tax Audit. Mr. Rupp.
So we're just asking approval for the contract and revenue recovery. We've been with them for 30 years. They're just updating it. And it's time for us to renew, so we're just asking for approval.
Motion by Mr. Pote, second by Mr. Fusilier. Let's vote. Item passed. Item 2D, consider and/or recommend action with regard to paying summer pay to 2 additional coaches at Cecilia Junior High.
It's actually one additional coach. There was a typo, so it's actually only one additional coach.
All right, one.
Based on their enrollment for summer workout.
Right.
The only thing I'd like to chime in on, just to make sure that, and I know they have a lot of kids, but maybe have a roster to prove that these kids are showing up and make sure that these numbers are actually high, like that they're saying everything.
I did get a list of
There you go.
students that are registered. He had 70 in attendance today, and some of them are, the cheerleaders are at an actual another camp. So he's anticipating the 10 more. He says he has 130 registered. When I was coming to you for the one additional, it was at the number 97. So with that said, he has 80.
So it's a
Just 10
legit
were not
number.
there. Yes, it's legit.
Okay.
I've been monitoring.
Thank you.
Next week,
I
if
used
we,
that.
yeah, the next week if we see that the numbers are not there, we
Then
can
you just
always
reduce.
pull them. Yes.
Sounds good. Move to accept.
Motion by Mr. Hebert, second by Mr. Poche. Let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2E, consider and/or recommend action with regard to student accident insurance. Ms. Lovett.
This insurance group, we actually had gotten a quote, and this is the same company we went with last year. They had froze the rates for us and offered us the same rates for 2 years, so there's no increase of what we paid last year. It's just renewing for an upcoming school year.
Okay.
The only question I had, oh, you go ahead.
Okay, this student accident insurance, this covers all students?
It covers all students, so if an accident happens, it picks up whatever the parent's insurance doesn't cover.
Okay, is this for them like utilizing buildings or whatever they're doing?
This is not for the school buildings. School related.
School activities.
School-related activities. It would even cover like if the players playing for St. Martin Parish at another location, football injuries, things like that also. it picks up whatever the student,
Is
whatever
it
their
just
insurance.
athletics? Is it just for athletics?
No, it's every student, every student.
So if a group from our school decides to have something at the gym or something, they're covered?
They're covered.
As long as it's school function.
And it's even during the school day, a kid gets hurt at recess.
All right.
The only question I had, and I asked it to Casey, was that I saw on there that it's also including the Head Start program, but Casey told me that Head Start puts their own fair share of money in there too, so just
Yes, they cover their portion.
they cover their portion.
All right, we have a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Fucci,
Second.
second by Mr. Fusiliar. Let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2F, consider and or recommend action with regard to earmarking state funds for 4-H program. Mr. Terry.
Yes, that's some state funds that's supposed to be coming through from, Mr. Huval's office. It's approximately $120,000. But it's, and whenever it does come through, it's for the board to earmark this money for the livestock barn at Groveland High School for repairs.
Right.
Okay, so whenever it comes through, like, it's not here yet. So we just wanted to address the board with that.
Move to accept?
Motion by Mr. Henry, second by Mr. Dozier. Let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2G, consider or recommend action with regard to sales tax supplement. Mr. Jones.
I am just coming back. We did an assessment of the sales tax collections a couple of months ago. We came and made a recommendation for additional supplements based on actual collections. And since that time, I made projections for 3 months. And since that time, we've had 2 months of actuals come in above where we expected. So we're asking to increase the one that's being distributed Monday to 1,500. That way the employees of this school year will benefit, the retirees will benefit from it, and it'll still have us a break even in sales tax supplement and be able to hold what we've done this year
It
again
was,
next
was
year.
that originally 1,000?
1,000, yes.
Now that 500, we could earmark that toward September.
I'm already proposing for September. So this will make, yeah, we'll be able to, everything we distributed this year, we'll be able to distribute next year.
All right.
So when I come in July, I'll have a recommendation for all of next year, and it'll include September.
I had a question. Had we looked into that other supplement we had talked about for, the people, in other words, for days missed and stuff like that?
Mark,
We had looked
Mr.
at
Blanchard
the
had talked to you
possibility of
about
bringing.
that, kind of tying it to attendance. Would you mind speaking to that and kind of what you discussed with him?
Yeah, so it's, obviously there's some concerns that you're gonna discriminate against somebody that's disabled. And so someone who has, you know, a disability that doesn't allow them to come as often, or who otherwise would have come and can't come because of disability. So you have those concerns. You also have the concerns of, you're not supposed to make a gratuitous payment, based upon something that's already occurred. And so that's in effect what you're doing is you're paying them for not having missed that's in the past. And so that's a concern that, although I've not found a case or an attorney general opinion that addresses this directly, there are a bunch that says that you can't give money. It's a violation of the Constitution, Article 7, to give money for a past performance for something that you've already done. You can do it prospectively. Now, could you maybe look at having a fund that's already paid and then giving it, perhaps, but I think you'd probably need to get an opinion from the attorney general before you did that.
But if we're making it a supplement and we're not giving it till the end of the year, couldn't it be tied into that?
Again, but for then, are you discriminating against those that have a disability? Because they are similarly situated they're not going to get paid but for their disability. So the only reason they're not getting paid is because of a disability, potential disability. I mean, not everybody's going to have a disability. Some people just chose to, but there are those.
Or underlying illnesses.
Right, that potentially qualify, and I think there might be a different way of doing it. And I understand what you're trying to do, but just maybe you have to figure out a different way.
Is it possible for you to look into that to see if there's a way to do it? Maybe tied into unexcused absences?
because it's a major issue. I mean, it's a,
And it's not just here.
no,
There are
I
other
mean, I
districts
see
that
it
are-
at
that
my
are doing
personal
the same
job.
thing. I can kick it around the other attorneys that do work for some of the other districts and see if they have any ideas. But we, I know we talked about this maybe 2 years ago,
Yeah,
and then talked again, with Al in the last 3-4 months.
I just like to see the staff that show up all the time to get it rewarded with an extra supplement. So if it's possible, just look at this.
Okay.
So we gotta vote on that motion?
Yes.
Richard has a question.
No, I was gonna make a motion that we give the 1,500. I believe, when did 1,500 will come out? Thursday, Friday?
It's gonna be Monday, because we have to have 2 days to get it to the bank, so we'll send it to the bank tomorrow, and it'll be direct deposited Monday.
Okay.
I'll
Give it to you.
I have a motion by Mr. Poche, second by Mr. Poche. Let's vote. Motion passes. Item 2H, discuss a food service building. Poche.
Oh, that's me. That item was already created on the agenda, and I voted to, not to do it, but after going to visit that building, some more building, I asked a few other board members to go visit. It needs to be torn down, that building is dilapidated. And I voted, of course, not to add that additional, but I think we definitely need it.
I think, we can do what you're saying, but we need to get this building over here constructed so that we can move whatever we have and
Right.
utilize this storage building here before we do any demolition over there.
Well, it's basically, you would probably house, AT and probably, some of the others, I went to some of the office, we got 4 person sitting in one office, crammed up. And that building can sure be utilized probably for these individuals. If you look at, if you ever visit an office, they got like 4 or 5 people in one office. It's not each individual have an office.
What you're saying is go with the original plan,
Go with the original
the whole
plan.
thing.
Yeah, Steve, you visit that building, I didn't know that building was like that.
Oh, I've been through that a long
Well, how many
time.
the square footage over there is what? How much is the square footage feet, that old building?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't answer.
Going on? See, you replacing that over here, so I mean, you probably have more square footage over here.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
this-
well, the thing is, the way you can be able to stack it, the square footage, you won't need it all, you can stack them 3
I
high.
think the building's big enough, but I see what you get.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, for the dry goods, I don't believe, if you went to look at that building,
I wouldn't put that.
that building not even, I didn't know that building was that worse of a shape.
Oh, I think you work.
So what's the plans of starting on this one? We have the
Philippe's here.
start date
The
and.
guy with Poche Fruit was here a while ago.
Philippe was here.
He was here for the chillers, he wasn't here, he wasn't
Oh, he wasn't.
aware that you would be speaking about this.
Yeah, but I believe Porsche still has a plan.
And what I'm saying is, it was all okayed already, but when do they get started?
What I wanted to hold up was,
Yeah, it
we
was-
didn't decide whether to do it all or just do a.
No, we had voted to
Voted to do that.
do just the base plan.
I think they
Yeah, we
were
need to do it
proceeding
all.
with the documents to get it ready. I think they had
That's where we at right now.
preliminary drawings, and then they were going through the rest of the process to get that building finalized.
Then it'd be one central
We're gonna
location.
get into something.
Okay.
And we need to look at that other place.
Okay,
I make a motion that we do the annex.
Are we going to fund that out of, how are we gonna fund that?
So
We
you use that to fund it. It wasn't completely funded. You had 2 million, that was from a
Yes,
grant.
It was-
Yes,
Grant.
We still have some additional extra money,
That's going to chillers.
Right, no,
but
that's,
some of it's going to be just.
The rest of it's going to chillers.
Why don't we have staff look into how to fund it? And come
Well,
back
I
next
think we
week.
still have some extra money, if I'm not mistaken.
That should stop the construction of being built to get started. But then-
I mean, we have it in general
We have
surplus, and
$65
that's
million
the board's decision if they want to use it for that.
Emergency fund,
I got
we
moved.
can dip into that to get it done.
Steve, you said.
$65 million.
Look at to make sure we have it.
Emergency
We have a motion and a second.
Well, we have to make sure we
Well,
fund it before we do it.
Why don't we make a motion to have staff looking exactly how we can fund it, come back next board meeting and approve it?
Okay.
Okay. Next item, 2H. I'm sorry, 2I, discuss unallocated bond money. Mr. Abrams.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. A couple of the areas are kind of running at the end of their projects, but at the end of their monies, but they have more projects that they want to complete. So I was looking at some of the paperwork that we've been given, and there's some unallocated money, I guess is how you have it worded, Casey. Then you also have some money that's in the Career Readiness Center, and I think that the main thing that they want in the Career Readiness Center is they want a walking track. So probably, find out what the dollar amount is for that. And then there's a couple of other accounts like the food service account. That has hardly any money.
That's hardly any money. It's basically CCRC and then the unallocated funds, which were interest, some unallocated money from this building, just different things that when we did the first reallocation, we kind of held back on just to make sure we had enough to proceed forward. But after the last reconciliation of the money, it's a true dollar amount of 1.7 million.
So
That's
about-
unallocated.
You have about 1.7, and then you have the money left in the CCR.
Yeah,
So maybe have them look at redistributing that money according to what we've done in the past with the student count. Come back next meeting and give us some dollar amounts, and then reissue that into the areas so like that the Burbridge and St. Martinville areas can get their projects done that they kind of pulling tight. That would be my opinion.
I can do that.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, on that same issue, I noticed that, at Burbridge Elementary, we only have $5,500 allocated. I'd like to move some of that money. I know, if you look at all the schools in the parish, Burbridge Elementary is the worst. It needs a little facelift. It'll probably take approximately about $10,000.
Especially that area, looking at,
And to paint a certain area in that building, and to move some of that money around, it wouldn't be hard,
Yeah.
so,
I think you have the votes for it.
okay.
You're right.
We can look at it next week. We'll
Burbridge
bring
should
back
have enough money.
the proposal for
Well, now with this reallocated money, they'll have
It
it.
was only $5,500 allocated.
So you'll come back with some numbers for us, Casey?
Yeah, I'll do that next month.
So that was my discussion. So she'll come back and then we can make a motion. I know y'all looking at a baseball field and everything, so there's probably enough.
I'd rather not spend all that money in somebody else's land.
You have your,
Property involved.
yeah. Well, that's the main thing. That's where y'all gonna have to decide what y'all want to do. And we'll just support y'all.
Good, very good.
Go with that, Ms.
I
Johnson.
agree with that. Yes, because I get tired of seeing Cecilia better, and I can't understand why Blue Bridge and St. Louis. Now, I was explained by someone, he was telling me, it's depend on the board member. We have to get along, we have to do what we gotta do, and y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do. We gotta communicate with them, because we want each school to have the same thing. So we on that board.
And like I told you, a lot of the times lately, the way we've been saving money is we haven't been using a lot of engineers or architects when we don't have to look at a ditch to get dug. You don't need that, you just go ahead and use your good contractors in your local area, and you can stretch that money a good ways.
And not only that, if you talk about areas, that's what you're supposed to do with your money.
No, we working as a,
But I'm saying.
communication. Well, what we need is,
Yeah.
we talk about what we
Population of St.
need.
Martin's dropped. And Cecilia is increased, that's why Cecilia has that money.
Lately, yeah. I mean, when this all started, St. Martinville had 1,100 kids at the high school. Now it's 600. Just to go to school,
We just wanna be on board equally.
sounds good. Okay.
Well, Mr. Delphine.
Talk to Mr. Feely within the next 30 to 40 days. The construction documents will be complete on the food service building. He said if you would want to add the 2 alternates that were originally on the agenda, you still have the option, but some decisions have to be made. You can't drag out, because they're in the process of getting the documents going out to bid, within the next 30 days. So if y'all want to add any of the addendums, one or two, alternates, one or two, you gotta make a decision sooner than later.
Well, I'll make a motion, I had a motion on the floor that, we let staff look into, as far as the funding and get back, with the president and, a couple of those notifications.
Also had, Mr. Fred, did they do a study on the building here to see about the offices?
No, the only concern that we had was the computer lab that we had, because it's filled with Chromebooks and everything, and that was a major concern, is we didn't have any more space. The techs really don't have any more space to work, so the sense of urgency that Mr. Poche talked about was the reason why we wanted that area to be cleared out so that it could actually be used, because we're out of actual office space. As we mentioned, we have 3 or 4 people that are working out of one small area.
Mr. Delphine,
Yes.
is 30 days too late, or do we need to make a decision before that?
He said it may be, I mean, they're in the process of doing the construction documents now. He said in 30 days, you may have to add it as an addition to the
A
project,
change order.
a change order.
Right.
He's read doing that.
Well, I have a motion on the floor, so, let staff look into it and come up with the funding and get back.
Y'all can have a special,
If push comes to shove, we can.
have a special.
They're not-
And then when we looked at it with Mr. Al, we have an unrestricted fund balance of over 6 million. We're projected, I'm pretty sure we're gonna end in the black this year as well, because ESSER funds are taken up, So in my opinion, that was what we looked at, is using general funds, excess general funds, our surplus, to pay for the addition. If you're gonna reallocate bond funds to the district, then it would be fully funded by the general fund, which we do have the funds to do.
Can we add that as an item,
Well, it's already,
Jim, sorry? Tonight and vote on it?
well, it's already on. It's already on the agenda.
But that's for discussion.
Well, this is the second month that it's been discussed, so I
Yeah, so
believe it
you
can
could
be voted
And
on.
with the board can waive that either way, but yeah, it's on the agenda.
I think it's on the agenda first, for Richard, I think, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but is that just for discussion or is it?
It was voted on.
It's the second month, I think you can call for it, I think you can vote
Before,
on it.
the person who voted for it can bring it up.
Gotcha.
We had discussion of,
Yeah, but-
There was a typo error.
But I think it was discussed last month, correct?
It was discussed last
It was
month.
discussed
I
last
said
month,
it in the board, that we was gonna bring it
so we can
up.
take action.
okay, so the motion on the floor is to accept,
To accept, the,
Two alternates.
You want both alternates or one?
well, let the staff.
Whatever the staff comes up with.
Fund and get back with the president and, a few board members.
Okay,
We'll do that.
that's,
Okay, and if, and then, we
That
can
way
check
they
and
can
see
move forward.
if there's a deadline date to add before we have to put them as an addendum or whatever. We can have a special board meeting to do it.
that was the food storage? Yeah. Okay, the motion on the floor, any more discussion? Yes, vote. Motion passed. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Potier, second by Mr. Potier.
We'll start the regular meeting in 5 minutes.
Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Hallelujah.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, any announcements, acclamations?
Yes, sir. I have, first, I have the recipients of the 2022-2023 Education Major Scholarship. These are 3 of our high school students. First student is Carrington Huval from Cecilia High School. Congratulations. Next student is from Brobridge High School, Andre Brown. And our final student is from St. Margaret High School, Mariana George. Congratulations.
All the announcements?
No, sir. Our school nutrition department passed a USDA commodity audit with a superior score. The schools under audit were Cecilia High School, Cecilia Primary, Parks Primary, St. Martin Junior, as well as the school nutrition warehouse. Another announcement, the Louisiana Department of Education, a statewide monitoring conducted a desk review for the months of April and May at our LA4 program. The purpose of the review was to ensure that all activities were in compliance with the LA4 child eligibility and attendance requirements. The results of the monitoring revealed that there were no findings that needed resolution. So congratulations. Another announcement, I was just notified on Saturday that we applied for the Strong Schools, Safer Schools Connections grant through the Louisiana Department of Ed, and on Saturday morning, we were notified that we were one of the school systems that were awarded the Stronger Connections grant, which we're going to use to shore up our schools with metal detectors as well as additional cameras and fencing and single point of entries. We will know in June, once Bessie decides on the amount that each district is going to be awarded, how much our system is going to be awarded, but that's some greatly needed money that we're going to use to shore up the additional schools in the districts. All right. That's it for announcements and acclamations.
Okay, how about Southern Scripts?
Our Southern Scripts Employee of the Month for this month is our graduation coach, Miss Andrea Broussard. I think Miss Dr. Delphi nominated her.
I believe it.
Sure.
I want to say that Ms. Broussard started well after the school year began. And she's the graduation coach who was hired to help us with our DSEG plans and getting our schools balanced and more students into Tufts University. And I want to tell you that this little lady is a go-getter. I mean, she has done more in one, not even a whole year, school year, than I have seen some people do in that time. She has already formulated peer-to-peer groups where they're even going into the middle schools, talking to the children and getting them interested in different pathways in the high schools. She's brought students to the universities. She has also started working with our Grow Your Own teachers. So she's done a lot. She's excited about her work. She loves St. Martin Parish, that's obvious. And I think she's a total asset to our district. So keep up the good work, Ms. Broussard, and thank you for all you do. Thank you.
If I can add on to Dr. Alford's comments, Ms. Broussard would regularly visit Robert High. I'm sure she visited the other high schools as well. She would also come in and ask us if we needed help or are there any seniors that I need to speak with. And she made numerous phone calls regarding the kids who are possibly gonna fail, but because of a phone call or because of a counseling session with that student, those students were able to pass. So she does a great job for Burbridge High School, and I think both of them say the same. So great job. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Mr. President, I apologize. In mentioning the Safer Schools grant, I just wanted to personally commend Ms. Euling. I see her back here. Ms. Euling worked tirelessly on getting that grant written, and I just want to publicly commend her for the job that she did. Thank you, Chris. And that concludes.
All right.
But you might have some students that might be upset with you next school year, right?
Additions or deletions? Additions or deletions? All right. To remove items from the consent agenda, any items other than, we have F, 2F to be discussed? Any other items on the consent agenda to be discussed? Yeah, this time I'll entertain to accept the consent agenda. Motion by Mr. Poitier, second by Mr. Durio. Okay, let's vote. All right, motion passes. All right, item F, considering or approve request for waiver of sales tax penalties.
Yes, yes, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Reason I brought this up to discuss was because I know there's costs that the school board has to absorb to do the audits and whatnot. Or the people that we are questioning right now are charging them, or we getting our expense out of that.
So, when we finish an audit, we'll get a cost and invoice from the audit firm. And, school board and all the other agencies pays a percentage of what the cost was. So it'll come out of, if we receive the invoice, say, this month, it'll come out of this month's sales tax collections. So school board is not actually paying out of general fund, it's coming out of what we collect for our school board. Sales tax, which is Fund 04, we pay 50% of all audit costs. So that comes out of the collection fees that we collect from the agencies like school board, Henderson, we pay 50% of all audit costs.
But are we getting reimbursed for the work that we have to do to the violators?
No, the companies that we audit, we do not get any money back from them for the cost of the audit.
As a legality of it, can we charge these people for that? I mean, we're having to spend extra time
Yeah,
and resources.
I don't know. I'd have to know more about their process. I would probably think not, but I would have to know more about their process to
And
answer that question.
we have a sales tax attorney, I can reach out to him as well and get that information.
Okay.
Yeah, what's his name
Discuss
again?
It's
Drew Talbot?
Yeah.
the rainwater law.
Rainwater.
Yeah, rainwater law. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a business expense, it's a cost of doing business.
All right, any more discussion on that?
We're obligated to do it either way.
We have a motion to
We're
accept.
obligated to do it either way.
Motion by Mr. Beard, accept, we have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Abraham, let's vote. Yeah, 2F passes, all right. On to Finance Committee recommendations. We have a motion to accept the Finance Committee recommendation.
Move to accept.
Move to accept by Mr. Abraham, second by Mr. Poche. Let's vote. Okay, Finance Committee recommendations passes. New business. Consider and approve Head Start Policy Council recommendations, the PC minutes for 5/22, Head Start calendar for 23-24, and new hire recommendations. Ms. Audrey?
We implemented our 23-24 calendar based on school system calendar and the requirements for the Head Start program and the number of hours. And then we had one new hire recommendation that we recently had.
Motion by Mr. Co-chair to accept. Second by Mr. Clay. All right, let's vote. Motion passes. Item 2, consider and approve placing local students with our custodians for summer work program sponsored by Acadiana Workforce Solutions. Will?
Yeah, this is a standard practice that we do every year. Students will be paid $10 an hour by Acadiana Workforce Solutions, and the students will be covered by their workman's comp insurance. There's no cost to the board.
Motion. Motion by Mr. Clay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Fugely. Let's vote.
Mr. Bolte, I think Mr. Blanchard.
Just, is it just custodians? Because one year I had like, they did secretarial work, like they answer phones and do stuff like
Yeah,
that. So-
we just kind of put it on the custodians, but it depends on the work that you would need.
All right. Next is to consider and approve moving graduation to Saturday, May 18th of 24 for the 23-24 school year. Mr. Wilson?
Yes, because of the issues that we've had over the past 2 years with several drivers, and I don't want to directly point to drivers, but I'm just gonna, because that was a concern. It forced us to close school for the past 2 years. Students are losing instructional time because the graduation fell on the Friday, and bus drivers wanted to be off for graduation, which is totally understandable. Our recommendation is to move graduation to the Saturday. And if schools decide they can stagger the graduation so that if a grandparent has kids that are graduating from 2 different schools in the system, they can attend both graduations because the times would be staggered. So I recommend, or I'm asking the board to move the graduation to May 18th of 2024.
All right. Got a motion by Mr. Clay. Second by Mr. Boudreaux.
Discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Davis.
And it was Mr. Stella that asked me this on the way coming. He wasn't able to make it because his wife had a procedure done and he had to take care of it. But he brought up the question, how did the parents feel about it? And I couldn't answer. I said, just in general, and this is just for staff for next year maybe. He said, well, what about having it, maybe having a calculated into our calendar, having off that Friday, if that's what people want.
You have instructional minutes you have to have.
Well, I'm just saying, but you plan for it. You follow what I'm saying? Maybe having your personal, wanted to start a day early. And it's just some things. I agree with going with the Saturday for now, until I get multiple phone calls and they tell me differently.
You be off that Friday.
Excuse me, if it's on a Saturday, so that means, okay, Cecilia, brokerage and St. Martinville won't have it at the same time.
You have that option.
Yeah, the option would be, my suggestion is to stagger it because
Yes.
if you do it, if everybody does it at 6 p.m. and you have a child who has grandparents, that mean,
Yes.
you may have a child who has grandparents that have kids that are in Broadridge or Cecilia, they have to choose which graduation they're gonna go to because they're all at the same time.
Might have to do a rotating schedule, so
Perhaps,
everybody
that's what-
gets the prime time. they would-
Correct.
I think Saturday is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think for the
And
parents
the
that work,
rotation
yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
But we'll find out.
not everybody gets the rotation.
Yeah, everybody have a different time.
I mean, it's not just mine. Mr. Lane just mentioned it too, Ms. Hussein as well. The only concern is that, we have a hard enough time getting teachers to attend the graduation ceremony on a Friday. Now we're asking them to come on a Saturday.
Well, that's just.
I'm voicing a concern.
And that's what this is about.
To be there,
That's what this is about.
but I am just telling you that there is a concern, because even like with the PD, when we tried to do a PD on a Saturday, there was a concern, well, why we're not getting.
Why we're not getting paid? I had that phone call.
Or if we're getting paid, why is it only $10? So that would be my concern, because they add to the ceremony. I think the teacher should be there. Those who, it's just a concern, because it's gonna be hard to get
I
everybody.
think they need to remember who.
I understand.
No,
Well,
I'm being no good right
and
now.
when they do it on
We need
Friday,
to
it's
remember
after
which bus
hours.
driver called in this
We're changing the graduation
because of our bus driver. What we need to do is start looking into outsourcing buses.
No, that's better.
I've been saying that forever.
Well, if we outsource, we won't
Mr.
have.
Johnson?
They asked me, the parents asked me a question like that. Why don't y'all have it
on the Saturday because, my mama got a grandson in Cecilia, they couldn't make it to the graduation. I've been hearing that for years.
And I check
And the teachers,
But at the same token, we sent out the calendar, we had the teachers and the employees vote on. One, we sent out a calendar, one we still in Lombard, it's a whole year from now. Sent out a memo and let the teachers or the people who work in the school system vote on it. You know, we give them 3 different options on a Friday at the same time, or a Saturday.
Lafayette Parish does it at the
Yeah,
kitchen,
right.
on Saturday.
That's right.
But that is trying to go,
Lafayette starts on Thursday. It's starting on Thursday.
starting there.
To the Saturday.
No matter what we're gonna do, we're gonna get some.
Right. We're gonna get some
It
flash.
might be better to work it into the calendar on a Friday, have that date.
You're still not gonna show up.
Yeah.
You're still not.
But
Let's
like
take a
the
day away
Saturday.
from them
Well,
when
we
they,
could try.
Mardi Gras. Here's one suggestion.
Some calls.
Here's one of the suggestions we could do. We know that we always, because of hurricane season, because of weather, we bank days in. So a month in or a month out, we say, look, we have days, we know we're not gonna use them. And then we could come to the board and say, look, let's just cancel school on that Friday because we have the bank days. Instead of having to wait the week of to decide because we're in a bond because we have 15 to 20 bus drivers that are out. So.
What if we did it, like you're saying, on a Friday, but again, stagger it, just like they do on Saturday, because like Mr. Long just said, a lot of kids on Thursdays.
If you have the Friday off,
We can stagger them, yeah.
So.
That's
So
it.
you're asking them to take off.
No matter what we do, it's true.
I think Saturday is the best day because everybody's off.
Let's try it.
You don't have people working.
We could try.
Let's try it.
Just try Saturday.
Let's try it.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a motion and a second, okay.
Let's try.
All right, let's vote for Saturday. The motion passes. You don't have it on? Let's turn it on. All right, item D, consider and approve request to acquire 2-acre property at 1046 Main Highway in Arterville. Mr. Will?
Yeah, I had someone reach out to me from the Acadiana Native Plant Project in reference to acquiring the 2-acre property that we have at 1046 Main Highway. I'm not sure if anyone is here from that project because I did tell them to be here at the board. Well, we did mention 5, so.
It's possible that in the executive session.
Yeah.
All right, we can, go over this one again when we file a good executive session. So we'll hold on D, item 5D till after executive session.
Move to executive session.
Motion to move to executive session and second by Mr. Coche. All in favor? Out of executive session and a second by Mr. Out of executive session. So the first item out of executive session is Mr. John Blanchard. Would you, go over the agreement?
Or the, yes, Mr. Foti, for the desegregation case, council recommends that the board make the following motion to, one, approve the revised language for the proposed consent order regarding St. Martinville zone magnet and district-wide transfer programs negotiated by council as well as recommended by the court in its entirety. Two, clarify that the board had previously approved the following language in the proposed consent order, quote, articulating the theme in the magnet school's curricular and extracurricular programs, end quote, but mistakenly believed during its last vote that this was a new term, and to direct council to withdraw objections related to this language that the board previously and now continues to approve. And three, after further consideration and with the understanding that section J, quote, geographic transfer zones, end quote, and section K, quote, transition assistance for majority to minority transfers and student was reassigned as a result of attendance zone changes, end quote, will be contained in a separate order, authorize council to agree to sever sections J and K from the proposed consent order. That's our recommended motion, Mr. President.
All right?
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Coche, we have a second? Second by Mr. Clay. All right, let's vote. All right, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Blanch.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, next on the agenda is the appeals. Student aid.
Student aid was resolved.
Student aid was resolved.
Okay, student resolved.
Okay, all we have to do is,
Start student B.
student B. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve staff, follow staff's recommendation.
We have a motion by Mr. Abear to follow staff's recommendation. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Mr. Fugely.
I'd like to make a substitute motion.
Substitute motions by Mr. Coche.
Well, I'd like to say 45 days, which is already occurring, and that after the 45 days, the kids be returned back to extracurricular activities. But as you previously heard the guy read from the court appeal, you know, I might be violating the rules, but I'll try to put it to the test. I have a motion.
Do I have a second for this? Do I second by Ms. Vital?
Vote on the substitute motion.
We vote on the substitute motion first. Everybody ready? Go ahead and vote.
It fails.
3 to 4, 7. 1 up to 8.
I voted yes.
Beat that.
Yeah.
Frederick's not here. You only have 9 votes.
We have,
You only have 9 votes.
It fails.
wait, that's
It fails.
good. Okay,
It doesn't-
okay.
You abstain, Steve?
Yeah, okay, I got it. Motion failed. All right, let's go with the original motion.
Ready, Wendy?
Yes.
We voting on it now?
Yes. The original motion passes. All right, next is item 5B, 5D, excuse me. Consider and or approve request to acquire 2-acre property at 1046 Main Highway in Arnaville. Mr. Wilks?
Yes, I had members of the Acadiana Native Plant Project who inquired about a 2-acre property that we have at 1046 Main Highway. Ms. Phyllis?
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Phyllis Griffith. I'm the president of the Acadiana Native Plant Project. I have with me Dr. Lawrence Rosas and Ms. Heather Warner-Finley, who are past presidents. We're a nonprofit organization that's been leasing the property at 1046 Main Highway. Are y'all familiar with that? We have a map coming around. If you know Arnaville, where Myron's restaurant is, it's just a block down or 2 blocks down across from the Tesh. And it's about 1.87 acres. And at that property, we have been propagating over 100 species of Acadiana native plants for the last 5 years or so. And only the last year have we been leasing, less than a year, leasing the property directly from the school board. Before that, we were subleasing from New News Art and Culture Collective. So that property now we've invested quite a bit in. We've put in septic system into the little schoolhouse. We've taken down a tree. We have a greenhouse there. And now that we have the back acre being leased as well, we have a grant. We're going to try to develop a public nature trail and expand our propagation activities. So before our board gets really involved in expanding what we do on the property, we would be very interested in acquiring the property from the school board. I don't believe that it's been used by the school board since, I think the last activities that happened there were daycare in that little white schoolhouse, maybe 20 years ago, and then it was used as a polling place, but it hasn't even been used as that. So it was very much overgrown. It still is in the back. And we would like to enter into an inquiry with you about possibly acquiring the property from the school board. And I understand from, after a conversation with former Superintendent Blanchard, that first of all, we have permission to demolish a derelict building in the back. It's huge, and it's an old portable building, and it's going to cost us $12,000 to do. There's also on that property, like I said, the little white schoolhouse that may have some historic significance. But before we invest any more in a $5,000 roof and more, we would like to possibly see about acquiring the property directly. And Superintendent Blanchard, former Superintendent Blanchard, did say not only we have permission to take down the building, but that that property does belong to a category of properties, Superintendent Selly, that you have permission as a board to sell or to part with. It's not, I don't understand how those work, maybe you can explain. So.
Okay, any discussion on the matter?
I'd just like staff to research it a little bit, possibly check into, just see what's involved in everything, see what the profit is possibly appraised at, and, maybe have them come back with a report to us and see if it's feasible for the board.
Any other discussion? No? Okay.
Thank you. We'll hear from you?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I think we've covered all business. We have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Fortune, second by Mr. Muriel. Adjourn. All right, fellas.